Last week, Nigeria's Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala took over the reins as Director General of the World Trade Organization. To majority of Nigerians, that is an accomplishment worth celebrating. Quite sadly, while the two-term Minister of Finance was getting ready to assume office, terrorists back in Nigeria swooped on a girls' school in the northern state of Zamfara and abducted hundreds of girls. That incident forced some state governments in that part of the country to close all primary and secondary schools in their jurisdictions. Questions many are asking is, where will the next generation of Okonjo-Iwealas come from if things fail to change for the better? That singular development, which echoes the Chibok kidnap of 6 years ago, seems to be the reason a lot of people regard education as the biggest victim of Nigeria's war against terror. It also goes to underline the choices that Nigerian political leaders have made or failed to make in this extended period of national crisis. Joining us now from Arise Abuja studio to take a detailed look at this situation is Mary Ikoku, a development scientist, strategic communications and public relations professional, publisher, human rights activist, and media and political strategist. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Mary. Good to see you. Well, very quickly, let's start with Dr. Ngozi.
Good to see you.
How are you? Let's start with Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is now the Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO. You recall that with the confirmation of our emergence as DG WTO, that caused a lot of excitement in Nigeria. NOI challenge, NOI goes to WTO hashtag, and people were dressing like her and saying they want to be like her. How significant, how symbolic is that for you?
Very significant, really. And it goes to show that women, when there is crisis, when there is a problem, like you can see the WTO, of course, have had years of stalemate, and they're really looking for someone who would and fix things around the World Trade Organization. And if you recall, there were men and women in the race. And when they started looking at everybody's CVs, they rounded up to about, 3 women still in the race with our sister from Kenya and a few men, And that goes to show that when you really look critically at the leadership qualities, that women are better leaders in times of crisis. And that's what we've got to see from even the pandemic. You can see how countries that are run by women seem to be doing better. But coming to Dr. Okonjo-Iweala, of course, you see what has come out of it, and hoping that Africa will begin to look inwards to see how we can utilize the talents and potentials of the many women in this continent. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala, of course, have ascended that position that the whole world is talking about it. But you ask yourself, will Nigeria consider making her president of this country, even when the whole world have seen her skills, her technicalities, her competencies, her character, and capacity to deliver on the job? The question is, will Nigeria make her president?
That's the million-dollar question.
So for me, it says a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Do go on. I thought you wanted to carry on. Mary?
Yeah, so I was saying that, back to your question, like what it means for the young women, for the women in Africa and women all over the world. Of course, it means a lot when you break through that glass ceiling that everybody sees, that is unseen glass ceiling. It makes people feel, you can really do it. So it's a place of motivation, it inspires, and it also, you can see how it attracted some kind of campaign. People are now beginning to dress like her. And that also speaks to the point that you don't necessarily have to try to fit in. You can stand out and be your African self and be who you want to be. Look at the way she turned up on the first day she assumed duty. She turned up in her African print with her signature gele, you see. And that says a lot, that all you need to do as a leader, as a human being, is to have that spirit of excellence, have the right competencies, have character, and be ready that when that opportunity comes, that you're ready and willing to step up and do the job. And remember what she said in one of her interviews, trying to get the job. She said, WTO has gone through a series of problems, and I will be bringing a fresh pair of eyes. That's what women do when there is crisis. Women don't continue to use the same thing that doesn't work, like we're seeing in Nigeria now. They bring on fresh pair of eyes, and they get to work. And I am so proud of Dr. Konjiwala. And I mean, I'm not surprised, because the little time I had working with her in the Ministry of Finance, I saw a woman that never went to bed before people who work under her. She was always at work even till 12 midnight. If there's work to be done, she makes sure it is done. So if you're ready, have competencies, and you're not lazy, you will enjoy working with her.
Well said. So it's Women's History Month in quite a few countries, the US, Australia, the UK. We don't celebrate that in Nigeria. But I wanted to ask you, what Nigerian female historical figure do you most identify with? That's on a personal level, historically. And now to present-day Nigeria, where do you think we currently stand with regards to equality across all sectors, legal, economic, political, and social?
That's a good one. On a personal level, I would think my two moms, my biological mother, who I saw weather through series of the marriage, childbirth, and leading in her own way, you know. And then people will tell you that women come with a communal kind of lifestyle, that they are more supportive, they are more, they nurture, they groom. And these are things you need in leadership. These are kind of the things that you need to drive a country, drive a business, and run it effectively. And my second mom, who was my mother-in-law, she was another person that also mentored me. And then my third mom, which everybody, of course, knew in this country, the late Professor Dora Akunyili. Sometimes people actually tell me, now I know why you are like this, you know. I mean, she mentored me a lot as well, and I mean in the political area in my career. So, and there are a couple of other women that, you know, increasingly as you grow in life, you begin to take on and things that are inspirations for you. So when it comes to somebody who stands consistently and keep demanding for the right thing to be done in Nigeria, and that woman will be Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili. And I love the work she's doing with the fixed politics and with her team. And so Dr. Konjiwala, I mean, respect for her. So the women, there's a place of mentorship. So I like it when we should have more women looking at women who inspire them. And we look at what motivates the next woman. Is it a Bobrisky? Is it what kind of person that motivates? So we need to begin to change the perspective when it comes to mentorship, role modeling for our younger girls, because that's really the woman you see standing here, sitting here today. I mean, it's been from series of mentorship from other great women, and I've continued to also learn from other women, and you never really stop learning. You just have to keep learning, because when you stop learning, you're now gone. You're no longer existing.
Over. I also asked you about equality, where we stand on equality now in Nigeria, socially, economically, politically, legally.
Oh, we still stand, it's not yet equal. We don't yet have an equal world. I mean, it's a progressive run that we must continue and must not tire to run. So the equality is non-existent. The girl born in Nigeria today and her brother are not having equal rights when it comes to access to finance, access to education, access to even her reproductive health. So there are levels of inequality there that even the culture and certain cultural attitudes have continued to feed. And then we also have this very long historical imbalances which we must address as a nation. And those historical imbalances are staring all of us in the face, and that's what most feminist and women rights groups continue to push for. And there's been a lot of pushback, but we continue to ask that there is an equal Nigeria so that the country would develop better.
I mean, just to be a little bit cheeky, you were talking about Bobrisky being a role model, and I quipped for a bit that Bobrisky would even be flattered that you could mention Bobrisky in the same breath as you mentioned a woman. I mean, Bobrisky is no woman by any stretch of any imagination. But I want to talk about upcoming International Women's Day. And I want to talk about where we should be driving the conversation towards in this country. And it's a great, prospect you set out for us. You said, yeah, will Nigeria be able to vote a woman as president? I mean, it's impossible as it is done. I remember when we had the Vijay Tiaba, a lot of people said it's not possible, but Vijay Tiaba happened, and we're looking forward to that. So what should be the conversation around International Women's Day coming up next week, Monday, I guess, yeah.
So the International Women's Day, really, thanks, for that question. This is Women's History Month. So I like the fact that the theme for this year's IWD, International Women's Day, is Choose to Challenge. And for some of us here in Nigeria, personally, myself and other group of women in my network, we are looking to challenge the insecurity in Nigeria. That's something we chose to challenge. To call out the president and the leadership to actually stand up and do their job. And we will be sending a well-thought-out letter that have put all our needs to the president of Nigeria and the military. So that's on one side. And another side, we're choosing to challenge the tech gap between us, the women in the city, and the indigent women and girls and even boys who do not have access to technology. So most of the events for the IWD will be held on in the virtual world. And there are women who will be left out. So we're choosing as an organization to challenge the tech gap between women in the city and women who are in the grassroots that don't have access to tech. They are going to be joining us through their own virtual meeting. We want them to have that access. That's what we are pledging to do in this. And there will be several other initiatives by different organizations. The United Nation is there. The women, several women collectives will manifesto in Nigeria. I mean, there are a lot of activities to mark the day, but bottom line is that we're at every level, we're choosing to challenge something that is impeding the success, the progress, and potentials of women across the world. And of course, it's something that everybody should be excited about, both gender.
Mary, on that note, let's take a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue. Just stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Our guest is still Mary Ikoku, a development scientist, strategic communications and public relations professional. Mary, thank you for staying with us. Well, in the course of this interaction, you've talked about quite a number of heroes who are female. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, you've mentioned Professor Dora Akunyili of blessed memory. You've mentioned Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, your mom, your mother-in-law. Now, how do we reproduce that generation? How do we produce more Okonjo-Iwealas, more Obi Ezekwesilis? more Akunyeles, right? Who can be potential presidents of Nigeria when we finally get around to that point. And I ask you that question against the background of the fact that these days it's become very regular for young female students to be abducted. We had the Dapchi girls, we had Chibok girls, recently we had Kangara girls. Bandits are now targeting them for rape, for ransom. We even understand they are making proposals to them to ask them to leave school and become wives. Now, how do we deal with that challenge? And there is Jangebe also in Zamfara. Jangebe girls.
Yeah. So that is one elephant in the room, if you like. And when all these girls are abducted from schools, it means an Okonjo-Iweala, an Obi Ezekwesili, a Dora Akunyili, a Mary Ikoku. Any woman could have been abducted because you don't know somebody's future if you kill the person at an early age. So the school is where these children, young girls, are prepared to take on life, as it were. But it should be a safe place for them. It should be where they learn to become, that is the place where they are prepared to become an Okonjo-Iweala, right? But when you go disrupting that process, it will become almost impossible to begin to have more women like that. So I'm saying that as a nation, we need to understand that when our girls and boys are not safe in the schools where they are prepared for their future, then the future of Nigeria is not certain. You cannot continue to abduct our girls and boys, and then to add salt to injury, we are seeing government paying ransom. We are seeing negotiations going on with terrorists. I don't know the meaning of bandit anyway, because I see terrorists doing their work. And we see them in negotiations with our government. I don't understand it. Maybe, just maybe, if we have women in leadership, maybe, just maybe, things will probably be different.
Well,
because how can we explain it? How can we explain it that our country is negotiating with bandits or terrorists or Boko Haram? How do we explain it when we haven't even win the war? These people have come on us. They have actually unleashed, this is war upon us. And we're negotiating with them. We're giving amnesty. Thank God the president has come to say no amnesty. But the truth is that you don't even use that technique when the war is still raging, when your girls are still being abducted. That is something that I believe government should be doing when the war is won. I recall, if you take the time of Biafra, the Biafra war, some people call it, we choose to call it civil war. I personally don't see anything civil about that war. So I see it as a Biafra war. So if you take a look at Biafra war, the Nigerian government did not start negotiating with Biafra from day one. They made sure the war was won, even though they said there was no victor, no vanquish. I don't understand that. But there was this policy to starve the people. The people of Biafra suffered kwashiorkor and all of that. It was after the war seemed to be won that the Nigerian government began to have that kind of level of integration, peaceful accord, and amnesty or anything like that. But now we are seeing a replay of people actually terrorizing all of us. No one is safe. Our brothers and sisters in the north are not sleeping. And we're seeing government negotiating with them even before the war is won or seem to have been won. It's a no-no. I don't think, I wouldn't address the matter that way. So now I'm speaking about me. So I don't know if it's a woman thing, how we see life. We probably see life differently. And this is why it is very important to always have women on your decision-making table, because what they bring is immeasurable.
Well, thank you very much.
So for me...
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
We really need to come together collectively, look inwards, and see what we are doing. Is this the right thing? If it's good they've tried something. Is it working? And clearly it's not working. And we are now seeing even our brothers who we are praying for in the north and south are now withdrawing food from us, the way food was withdrawn from Biafra in the past. So you can see they're saying we are not sending food to the south. And you're looking at people who can't even afford to buy their own food, are withdrawing food. And I'm sure they will make a lot of losses. Are they thinking? I feel sorry for our brothers over there, those who are doing this. Because I do not, for the life of me, believe that the same people in that region of this country are happy with what is going on. I don't think so. You know? So, best part is that the government may need to rethink and rejig whatever strategy that they have. And I think they also need to communicate more effectively. I listened to the last guest congratulating and commending the president about his recent statement on shoot aside and not giving amnesty. One question I want to ask, is it the president speaking? Yes, his spokesperson can speak for him, but at a time of crisis, we need to see him speaking. It will have more effect, more impact. It will solve better problems than what we are doing now. So he needs to make himself more available, more visible, and let him talk more. Nigerians need to hear from him.
Well, thank you very much, Mary Ikoku, for joining us on the morning show. Thank you for your time and insight.